I'm good to go.
Amazing. So, hello, Khrystel. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Hannah? I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm all good as well. So, for those people who are watching, what I want to do is just, well, ask you about how your experience has been, get your input, get your insight, and whatever you have to share with people who might potentially be, on the fence or not sure what to do. So,
hmm
I mean, take me back to before we started working together. What were you doing?
Um, Before we started working together, I was working at the gym. I'd been there almost 5 years, and I was definitely the busiest personal trainer there. I did a lot of group training. I was training anywhere from 15 to 20 people a day. Training 10 people would have been like a shorter, easier day for me. And honestly, I was getting really, really burnt out. I was not happy, and I was really praying for some kind of solution to get out of basically the shithole that I had been in for at least a year or two. I was not very happy. So
Okay.
uh, it was a prayer answered when you popped up on my story. That's for sure.
So then before that, were you already trying to go online or were you just starting at ground zero?
Um, I wanted to be online, but I didn't really know how to do it. So yeah, I was not online.
Uh,
I had no online clients. I think I made maybe $1,500 last year, and that was mainly on like meal plans and the odd personal training outside of the gym.
Okay, okay. So then for you, was the biggest thing time in which you wanted to go online? Like, was it time? Because I know you mentioned your daughter as well, right?
hmm Yeah, she was going through a really rough patch last fall, and it was really hard to be there for her when I was working at the gym because I would be gone for 10 to 12 hours a day, and I would get home really late and exhausted. So we really didn't have much time together. So that was definitely another reason why I was, trying to think of, something else I could do while still being in the same, healthcare and wellness field. So yeah, having that extra time with her was definitely something that I was lacking, and looking for something that would allow me the freedom and flexibility to have more time with her, be there for her.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like you were in the pretty typical hamster wheel with PT where you're pretty successful in person, but you didn't have time and you just wanted to get your time back and have the freedom, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know initially when we worked together, that was a pretty big leap for you. So, what was your thought process, when you were deciding whether you wanted to do this or whether you should wait or things like that?
Um, well, honestly, I just felt really stuck. I felt stuck for quite a while with what I was doing. I just felt like there was no way out, and I didn't know what else to do. And when I saw your ad and what you were all about, it was really like, okay, this is something I can do. This is the solution to my problems, and my way out. So I just kind of felt like I already knew if I kept going how I was, that nothing was going to change. I was just going to be in the same spot,
Mhm.
which was just unhappy, overworked, overstressed, no freedom, no flexibility really in my life and what I wanted to do. So it was really like I just knew that it was a solution to my problems and that I had to take the leap because the risk, of potentially not succeeding, but what the risk of being in the same spot, sorry, was like more scary to me than like the thought of investing like a shitload of money that I never had invested in myself before, besides my education, which I didn't really find like super fulfilling because I ended up leaving that field.
Okay. Well, it seems obviously the biggest step and it was out of your comfort zone. So, let's talk about numbers and results because ultimately, that's what everyone wants to know. So,
Mhm.
What are the kind of results that you get, or what are you charging now for online?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, my results were pretty paltry. I think I first started charging around 1,200 for a 90-day package. And now I'm charging, I just signed somebody up for 6 months for 3,800 Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been able to, transition pretty seamlessly to high ticket. And yeah, when I first started working with you, I think the first month I made like $300. January, I made like $500. February, I did a bit better. I made 4Gs.
Mm-hmm.
March, I brought in just under two grand. So that wasn't the best month when COVID hit. April wasn't a whole lot better. I was doing mostly Zoom classes. So some of this income was from Zoom classes. So that wasn't really getting me anywhere because that was only about 2,000 again.
Mm-hmm.
And then May, I started focusing more on the online coaching in May and onwards. So in May, I brought in 5,500. June was better, 6,300. July, I brought in 7,000. And then so far this month, which isn't over yet, I've brought in over 10,000, so 10,300. So in the last 9 months, 9 months, I've brought in $38,000, so almost $40,000
Wow,
since starting with you.
that's amazing. And I know you mentioned that sometimes it's a bit up and down. So, um, for the people watching, what do you feel like was the biggest shift when you were initially, maybe not doing that well versus when you really stepped up and started going from like, $400 to 4 grand the next month?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think part of it is some people learn at a slower rate and some people catch on quicker. For me, I'm a bit of a slow learner. It takes me time to, really get things down pat. So that's why I did decide to renew my coaching with you 2 times and spend, 9 months together instead of only 3 months. Because the first 3 months I was still working at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard for me to focus and there was just so much information for me to absorb. So I think that's part of why I didn't do that great in the beginning. And then kind of after COVID hit, I think part of why I didn't do so great is I did have a family member who ended up getting sick and had COVID. So I was really distracted and I was just kind of survival mode. And then I think the main difference between, because then I was full time focusing on the online thing for the last 6 months and, dropped the gym when COVID hit, they all closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the main difference why my income went up so much more in the last 3 months is because I've been focusing more on, the day-to-day activities,
Right.
that are boring. It's not sexy, but it's just like there's the lead indicators and the lag indicators, right? The sales is the lag indicator, but just putting in the reps, doing those day-to-day things, that consistency. And then also getting my mindset on track and my physiology. I think those two things also have contributed to my success over the last, 3 months because my income keeps going up. And at this point, I don't feel like it's going to go down. I feel like it's going to keep increasing. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And I think upfront about your journey in like the past 9 months because a lot of the time, especially with testimonials, you only see like people who get quick results and people who like blow up in month one. But sometimes that's not really an accurate representation of every coach who does a program, right? Regardless of whether it's
Mm-hmm.
ours or someone else's. But for you, the fact that you put in the work and continue to have the long-term goal in mind, that's
Mm-hmm.
what allowed you to actually be successful and ultimately hit, like 10K months. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at a high level, what do you feel like was the biggest thing that you learned? Whether it's mindset or strategy or something else.
The biggest thing that I learned. Probably that 20% of my activities produce 80% of my results.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was focusing on all the back end stuff, that's when my sales were shitty and my mindset was crap and my physiology was crap. I wasn't taking, as good care of myself as possible. So I think the main thing that I learned is that it's just that consistency, those day-to-day small things that add up over time. And for me, it was really an all or nothing. Like, I don't have a backup plan. Going back to the gym is not an option for me. I'm not interested in that. I turned them down when they asked me to go back. I had a lot of clients with sessions, and I just felt like, you know what, if I go back, it's going to take me longer to get to my goals. And I know I have confidence in the strategies that I've learned through working with you that it's going to work. I just have to do the legwork, put in the reps. And so I just focused on doing that because, for me, there was just no way that I was going to go crawling back to the gym. Like, I don't have a backup plan. This is my plan. And, I'm an all or nothing. So I'm kind of all in, no holds barred. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be successful in what I'm doing now, because it's what really makes me the happiest. And I've never been happier in my entire life, honestly. I feel like I'm in charge. I'm making my own decisions. I'm controlling who I work with, how I work with them, when I work with them, and I have the freedom that I want now. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what are your next level goals? I mean, now you've quit working at the gym, you've got your freedom, you've got your time back. What's next for you?
Um, Scaling,
Mm-hmm.
growing bigger, but not burning myself out. I now have a team of 4 people. I've hired 4 employees to help me out. Um, so that was one thing that I wasn't expecting, is needing help with what I'm doing. But I'm so glad that I've done that, because it's really helped me to focus on the fundamentals and the things that I'm really good at. So I'm kind of just focused on really getting them to a good spot where it's not as much work training them, because
Mm-hmm.
there's always a steep learning curve. And then it's going to give me more time to, focus on the things that I need to do to move my business forward.
Amazing. So I have a final question for you. What would you advise someone who maybe was in a similar position as you? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they want to be online, but they're not sure what they should do next, or maybe they know it's going to be an investment and they're not quite sure whether they're ready for it.
Hmm. Um, yeah, I would just say that there's never a perfect time to do anything, but the only way to get ahead is to really hire somebody who has already been where you want to be. And that's really the fast track to success, rather than going around in circles trying to figure it out yourself. So I would just say that there's no better investment than yourself and your dreams and your future. And I was honestly scared shitless when you told me the investment. And I didn't have the money. I did have to use my line of credit and, my credit card to be able to pay for it. But I feel like it's been so worth it, because now the money that I've spent, I've made 4 times the amount that I invested. I've made 4 times that amount in revenue. And I'm still just getting started, because I've really only just gotten into a good groove with everything in the last like 3 months, honestly. So I definitely don't have any regrets. And at the end of the day, we're either going to have to pay the government more money for our taxes, right? Or we can pay ourselves and invest in ourselves. So for me, I'm a smart business owner. I studied accounting, and I have a financial background. So for me, I recognize that if I don't invest in my business, and I try to do everything myself, yeah, I might seem like I'm holding on to more cash, but then come next year, if I don't have enough business write-offs, I'm going to end up having to pay the government that money that I tried to hoard, and I'd much rather invest in my business and myself to grow, and not have to pay the government, a bunch of taxes next year.
Mm. That's an interesting perspective. So, Khrystel, I'm super pleased for you and to have been able to see your journey the past 9 months, and I'm super happy for you.
Thank
So,
you.
um, anything else do you want to mention, by the way?
Um,
Everything.
no, well, just that you were a perfect fit for me. Like I wasn't really even looking for a coach, honestly. I was just looking for a solution to my problems, and I was just praying for an answer. And then you popped up, and it was, a pic of you powerlifting, and I'm a power lifter as well. And, talking about not being salesy or pushy, and, really focusing on higher level. And yeah, it was the best decision I ever made, honestly. I'm just so grateful that, you came into my life. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't met you. And it's the best decision I ever made, even though I was really scared. I definitely have no regrets whatsoever. And I would say to anybody watching this or that's kind of on the fence that, they should think about what are their chances of succeeding on their own based on their past experience, right? Versus working with somebody like you who's got literally hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonials. And the only way that somebody's going to fail working with you is if they don't put in the reps, if they don't take your advice and take it seriously, so I would say they've got really nothing to lose,
Mm.
and that they won't regret it at all. Because I mean, you really changed my life, honestly. Like I have a life now that I only really dreamed about. And I mean, I never would have thought when I first started working with you um, that I'd have to hire a team. But I feel so grateful to be able to support the economy, while other businesses are shutting down, and to be able to support other people, other women, who might not be able to, feed themselves or have the life that they want if it weren't for me needing their help. So I feel pretty good about it. And the results that I'm getting clients now is so much more higher level. Like I have people saying to me like, I'm a godsend, and they wouldn't be where they are now in their life if they didn't meet me, and that they never had a good day before they met me, and now they have great days. So I feel like I'm also able to make the impact that I want now, in a way that was hard to do in the past, focusing on workouts, versus now focusing on higher level coaching and strategy and mentorship. So um, it's super rewarding. I just absolutely love it. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for that. To those watching, this is not scripted. Khrystel's just way too nice to me. um,
Nothing but the truth.
yeah. Well, where can people find you for those who want to check you out on Facebook or Instagram?
hmm Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook, Khrystel R. Pigeon, Krystel. And then Pigeon is like pigeon, the bird, but I'm French, so it's Pigeon. And then my Instagram is just my first name _fit. So Krystel _fit. And for anybody watching that has any questions, they can message me, hit me up, ask me anything they want, pick my brain. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. And it's crazy now. I'm literally getting asked what my secret is, and I don't really have a secret other than that your system works. Your system works. It's amazing, and the only secret is putting in the work
Yeah.
making sure your mindset is in place, and looking after your physiology, because if we don't take proper care of ourselves, then I think that always affects other areas of our life negatively. So I would say that's kind of the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Well, guys, make sure you check out Khrystel on Facebook and on Instagram. Khrystel, thank you for doing this. And I'm so pleased for you, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So